Get ready to experience living your best life with the catalyst of change and voice of hope to the nation's transformative leader and teacher life coach. Delivering a message of hope and encouragement is her purpose, to leading God's people from all walks of life from a place of despair to a place of purpose and destiny. Dr. Veronica Simpson, a trailblazer for rising leaders, an uncompromising voice that God is using to stir up the body of Christ. Get ready to come up higher and discover what God is saying about your promise, your purpose, your personal journey of self-discovery to awaken your most dominant dreams and fulfill your purpose for life. So come on inside and prepare your heart and mind to receive direction to step into your divine destiny and live your best life with Dr. Veronica Simpson.
Hello, thank you for joining in with me today on my broadcast, Living Your Best Life. I am here to encourage you, inspire you, to push you into your purpose and your destiny. I am excited today. To be in Morristown, Tennessee live. Morristown, Tennessee live. I am joined with my special guest, Mr. Theo Mitchell, who is the owner, yes, you heard me right, who is the owner of Kuttz of Klass Barbershop. And so in saying all of that today, I want you to understand that he is going to encourage you, inspire you, and help you move into the place you need to be to become your own business owner. So listen, sit back, relax, get ready to hear the wonderful conversation that we have today for you between me and Mr. Theo Mitchell. Again, I say he is the owner of Kuttz of Klass Barbershop, located in Morristown, Tennessee. So I'm excited today. Mr. Theo Mitchell. Well. Welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. And yourself?
Oh, I'm blessed.
Okay. You know, I am excited to be with you on today because I have witnessed that you are an entrepreneur. I have witnessed that you move in excellence. I have witnessed that you are a man that is on a mission. And so in saying all of that, as we conversate today, I want you to kind of tell us who you are. Who are you?
Well, that's somewhat of a tough question. When you ask the question, who am I? I mean, I guess it's one of those things where I'm still trying to find myself. You know, like when I say find myself, like find my purpose in this industry. You know, coming after 20-some years coming back to this industry.
Okay.
I decided that I want to come back and, you know, make this my occupation now. I'm passionate about what I do now. You know, it's not my occupation no more, it's my occupation. So I think this is what I'm retired doing. I mean, I don't foresee anything else. This is what I enjoy and I'm passionate about.
Awesome. You know, you said a key word. You said occupation. I can relate to that versus occupation. And so when you say occupation, what has driven you to walk in this scope of doing, I say, ministry in a way to help an individual feel better about themselves by helping them in their appearance? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Helping them in their look. What drove you to this? Why a barbershop?
Well, you know, it stems back. I can remember when I was a little kid coming from New York City. I used to come down south, and my grandmother, back then, she would get our haircut on credit. And what I mean by that, she would get our haircut either on the Social Security was like the third of the month. And we had this old barber. He passed away a few years ago. He was 91. He cut hair all the way up till he was 91. Long story short, me and my partner had a buddy back home, and we was talking to each other. We was like, man, we don't want to wear no messed up haircuts no more. So we just
Okay.
started, we was dealing and dabbling.
Okay.
We wasn't really taking it serious, So like I said before, what goes back to the occupation, it was just a hobby, So when I moved down south, I was the safety administrator for FedEx Ground, and I wasn't thinking about cutting no hair. I would
Okay.
always do my own stuff.
Okay.
It wasn't something that stemmed and motivated me at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I came across this location, and I wasn't even going to do a barbershop. I was just going to do a corner bodega store like back home, just do a little thrift store. And then a little bell clicked. I called my sister back home. When I say my sister, my baby sister, Miss J. And she said, they called me Booby. That was my nickname. And she was like, what is that right there? And I said, it's a high school. She said, what you plan on doing? And I said, I don't know. I want to do a little store. She said, no, you should cut hair. And that's what the light clicked on.
Wow, that's something, because what you had in your heart to do when you contacted your sister, who I know is a woman of God, and she began to share with you what she saw, what it did, it resonated. It resonated. And the thing about that is just, iron sharpened iron. So here we are today in your establishment. And I know you can cut hair. I know you can move in ministry and making someone feel good and making someone help them to understand that's what you was before you came in. But this is who you are when you're walking out of Kuttz of Klass, right?
Yes.
The name. Talk to me about the name.
Well, it's funny because when I told my kids Kuttz of Klass, it's like, Dad, you ain't spelling Kuttz of Klass right. You spell Kuttz with a C.
Okay.
So the K's came about. We spell Kuttz of Klass, K-U-T-T, of course, apostrophe S, so class, K-L-A-S-S. And the reason for being, because in graphics, if you open, people call them scissors.
Okay.
Well, we call scissors, you cut clothes. Shears is the proper name in this industry. So if you open shears open in graphics, they become K's.
Okay,
So
you teaching me. You're teaching me.
So that's how Kuttz of Klass came to be Kuttz of Klass.
Awesome.
Yes.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure our audience never knew that. But they learning something today.
Yes.
So not only are you a barber, master barber, you're an educator.
Yes.
Okay. A man with many gifts. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about hair. When an individual come into your barbershop, your place of ownership, what do you expect them to leave with?
Well, I want them to leave with dignity. Like I said, it's more like I have an article that I mentioned this, and I will repeat again. It's not how many times the door swings open, and what that mean was, well, I take that back. It does matter how many times the door swing open and close. We know if the door come open, we bring a client in, and when they leave, they satisfied. Everybody have customer service, but we strive in customer satisfaction. So just like my little tattoo says, it says, what's my worth? It said it might have taken me 3 minutes to listen to your problem, but it's taken me a lifetime to become a master barber. So that means if someone comes in and says, hey, so-and-so messed me up, or they got a complaint, we listen to it, and, hopefully we change you forever. We're here to change lives, and that's what we do here at Kuttz of Klass.
I'm astonished, because when I come into this awesome African-American business, and an African-American male is the owner, I'm astonished. Not only am I astonished, I'm excited. I'm excited to see that, yes, it is possible. Yes, it is work, but it is possible. And I'm sure all of this is work. And so I believe that people they can go to school to be a beautician, they can go to school to be a barber. But I will tell you, there are some people that just have a gift. And you're one of those people.
Thank you.
Because I've seen your work on Facebook. I've seen your work on Google. I've searched those things out to see the gifting that you have to not just do design barbering. I would say making designs and going beyond a natural haircut, right? So talk to me about these tools these tools. I'm looking at gold. I'm looking at all kind of SC clippers. What is all of that about? Because I'm just thinking that you just use one regular clipper. Is that what it's called?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I'm just thinking that he uses one clip to, do what he do. Change the blades or change the length, the guards, or whatever he used. Praise God. You can see that I am not educated in this area. That's why I'm sitting here with this master barber, Mr. Theo Mitchell. I'm amazed. I just want you to share about the different tools that you use to make someone handsome,
right,
or a female beautiful.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, ma'am. Well, that, it stems back to the origin of a barber and a master barber. Way back, probably before my time, at the beginning of the time, there was no such thing as a master barber. It was just barbers, meaning the word barber is derived by the Latin word barbare, meaning hair removal. Anybody who removes hair is a barber. So in order to take on the education to get your master barber, the industry wants you to be, like you said with the women, you got to be profound in like chemical services. You can't just be somebody who cuts hair. So that's when all your implements come in. And what I mean by implements, your clippers, your shears, and people got texture of hair. It's different type of texture of hair. You might have a man come in and say, hey, I don't want you to put clippers on my hair. So you got to grab the scissors, which we call them shears, and you utilize those, and the razor and vice versa. Same way with a woman. And that's the difference between the master barber and the barber. So you have to show the state why you should be licensed as a master barber as opposed as a barber, because it was only the 15 steps to the shave. So that's where that come in at.
I also know that you are an educator, because you were teaching at one of the profound schools, Paul Mitchell. How did you get there?
Oh, it wasn't easy. For quite some time, the word Paul Mitchell, that's a big name, and it wasn't for barbering. It was just for cosmetology and stylists and stuff of that nature. Now they brought into a barber program. So, I deal and dabble a little bit, and I had little short sessions with like the director of Paul Mitchell and stuff. And we had a couple of sessions where we had to meet each other. And then it's one of them things that got to kind of take somewhat of a liking into you. They want you to show up, kind of perform as opposed to talking good. So that's how that worked out, and we worked some things out, and my business was becoming a little busy, and I was like, okay, if it interfered with what I have to do as far as servicing my customers, I just have to take a stage back. But I still go there and help periodically with the college.
Awesome.
More. I still stick my head in there.
Awesome. This location that we're in, this location that I'm sitting in today, Morristown, Tennessee, 324 Inman Road, or Inman, is it Inman Street?
Yes.
Okay. 324 Inman Street in Morristown, Tennessee. I know for a fact that it is 6% African Americans here. Yeah, I know that for a fact. Now, it may have grown in the last year a little, but there is a clientele that you have reached beyond African Americans. Let's talk about your clientele. Who does that involve?
Well, going back to the clientele, like you said, that involves, like, we're a multicultural shop. And what I mean by that, we diversify. Like, we have European, African American, Guatemalan, Honduran, Hispanics. We got different nationalities.
Wow.
As opposed to take a business, like you said, coming to 324 Emma Street. This was a segregated area back in the 50s.
Okay.
There was nobody allowed in this area but African American people. So
okay.
We are setting in a business that's over 100 years old. Like, this building wasn't to be opened up to the public. So we went and renovated ourselves and had to get it inspected through the state to become a business for the public. So now we done gather different nationalities. Everybody comes to Kuttz of Klass now. So that's how we moving. We shifting Kuttz of Klass. We just don't want to be, because we African American, we just don't want to cater to just African American people.
Yes.
We want to be abroad and cater to everybody. Everybody's welcome. Family owned business is what we striving to be.
Right.
Family owned. So
when you say that, you know what I think about Theo Mitchell, Mr. Theo Mitchell? I think about people from all walks of life, coming into this profound business, this business of excellence, coming into this area this dynamic area, which is now pretty much dominated by Mexican and dominated by Caucasians. But, you know, God has his way, man, of placing you in a strategic area where you can meet the needs of all people. And that's what I see here. I see you meeting the needs of all people. And it's beautiful. It is simply beautiful. Let me tell you, if you're ever in the arena of Gatlinburg, Tennessee, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and you need a haircut, you need to come on over a little bit further into Morristown, Tennessee, and stop at Kuttz of Klass Barbershop, where the owner is Mr. Theo Mitchell. So, you know, in saying all of that, it's a question I wanted to ask you, right? Your schooling. I want you to talk about and tell individuals that may be watching this broadcast, living your life, you know, how important it is to have education. I'm sure you just didn't wake up and say, well, I'm going to go in there and cut hair and, you know, I ain't got to have no license. I ain't got to have no certificate. I ain't got to go to school. Because people think that. They think that they can jump up, open a building, and do things without being legal. And, you know, I want you to talk about that step in going forward in education, how important it is. Because it may be a young man that's watching. It may be a young lady that's watching. And you say, you know what? I thought about getting into barber, but I don't know. I don't know if it's for me. Because look like men just do that. No, there are women, female barbers, master barbers. But I want you to talk about the education. How important it is to have the education.
Well, and I agree. You're 100% correct. Education is key in every scenario, especially when it comes to this industry, because number one, it separates you from someone who's just sitting at their house saying, hey, I just want to cut hair. Mm-hmm. Education is key, especially in this industry. You got to either perform a diploma of some kind or GED before you can even attend to even go to hair school, whether you're being a barber or cosmetologist. Both of them is 1,500 hours. And this is what the state of Tennessee requires. Some states require more. And they're going up on the hours. And, you know, education. You know, getting to the education, like I was always telling people, you know, I used to be always saying imagination is greater than education, but I think they both work together because without your education, you can't imagine that you can do something great. So when it comes to this industry, we have to have the education because there's a business side of just cutting hair. You know, anybody can pick up a pair of clippers or shears and cut hair, but without the education, you can't run a business. You can't raise your income to take care of yourself or your family because you don't know the business side of it. There's a business side of this industry. So anybody can walk in the door and just cut hair, but can you run the business?
Ah, that's good. That's good.
And a lot of businesses have failed because the education wasn't there, because they didn't have it up here. So that's why that's in anything. Everybody don't want to be a manager or a supervisor. Right. You know, so if you don't know that side of this industry, then your business will eventually collapse. You'll go backwards.
Well, you know, this is going to air on national. It is good. It's live. We're taping live, but it's going to go all over the world, right? Preach the Word Worldwide Network is a Christian network broadcast that is all over the world. And I am so blessed to be in the segment worldwide. My broadcast is worldwide. Wow. And so when I think about it, and when you really think about it, how God opened doors, you can be sitting in one location, but your occupation, if you will, can go all over the world. And I love it because you don't never know who's viewing or watching the broadcast. But I want you to take a few minutes and look into that camera and talk to the audience on just encouraging them to move forward in their dream, to move forward in their vision. You know, of course, God being the center. We understand we can't do anything without him, not successful, you know. But I want you to look into that camera. And I want you to share to some woman, some man, some boy, some girl, what it is to fulfill your dreams. Letting them know you can do this. Because somebody may be in a place where they may just have given up, you know? Because lots of times you have a circle that'll encourage you, and then you got that circle that'll discourage you. But even in the discouragement, I know you pushed through it. I know you did. Thank God for the encouragement. But the discouragement, I feel like, has done more. Because when you tell me I can't, guess what? I'm going to prove you wrong. It's driven in me to prove not so much what I can do, but it puts fuel under me to let me know, this is God's purpose for me. And I'm going to push forward. So I want you to look into that camera and take some time, Mr. Theo Mitchell, Kuttz of Klass owner of Morristown, Tennessee.
Yes. Well, you know, it stems back. We celebrating, to be honest, June the 4th made 9 years. This actual location is open and will be open. Well, still open. When coming in as African American in a small town like this, one thing I've learned being in this part of Tennessee, meaning Morristown, Tennessee, is if you're not from here, the people don't levitate to you so well. So me, that motivates me within itself, because I know just doubting me, like she was just saying, it motivates me to do better. And I tell you, in this business, I gave up. If I tell you I didn't give up 1,000 times in my head, then I'll be lying to you, because I have. But every day, every Saturday around a certain time, you know, not trying to be sentimental, I lost my dad, I lost my brother, and the door comes open by itself at this certain hour. And my dad used to come in here, and every time the door come open, it motivates me even more to keep going. And this is a home away from home, you know, because we here, and when I say here at the barbershop, just as much as we are at home with our relatives. But for the younger people, or even to the older people, I got cops coming here saying they love to be a barber. I have people who just this is not for everybody, you know what I mean? But for the ones that it's for, I say just stop, take a minute for yourself. You know, even trying to go through school. I mean, everything get overwhelming. But when you tell yourself that I think I can, then you're gonna persevere to it. You're gonna keep going, and that's what keeps me humble and motivated. You gotta stay humble and show some sense of encouragement and be meek at the end of the day. And when people tell you that you can't, you tell yourself that you can. For let your yay be your yay, your nay be your nay. So what that means for me is that for everybody to tell me no, I know there's 1,000 people to tell me yes. But just moving forward, just keep your dreams, shoot for the stars, aim for the moon, but shoot for the stars. You know, set your goals high. You know, because I'm a kind of a cocky kind of guy. But you know, yeah, just with that being said, you know, I'm encouraged, if you need to learn of anything, come by 324 Emmett Street, Morristown. I'll be glad to sit down and talk to you about the school side of it, the business side of it, or just the professional side of it.
Awesome. Now, if someone need to reach you, I do know that I will list it on the broadcast, that individuals may want to contact you. I know you're on Google, Kuttz of Klass. You're on Facebook, Kuttz of Klass. And then you have a shop number, 423-616-0362. But most importantly, what I would love for you to take from this interview with Mr. Theo Mitchell is that he is an entrepreneur, a man on a mission, a man that walks in excellence, a man, yes, at times can be prideful, but at times can humble himself to meet the needs of all people. So I again am excited, and I thank you for allowing me to come in on this set, your home, your second home, and do this live interview with you. I just say, may God be with you, and I look forward to airing this in the next couple of weeks, that everyone will see Kuttz of Klass and will hear your testimony and will see your occupation in motion. So I thank you once again for allowing me, Dr. Veronica Simpson, living your best life.
Thank you for having me.
For allowing us just to come together at this particular time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You've been listening to Living Your Best Life with the in-depth life application principles and teachings with Dr. Veronica Simpson. We pray that you've been blessed by this timely word of encouragement and insightful teachings as you prepare to step into this new season and live your best life. Visit Dr. Veronica Simpson at drvsimpson.com. That's drvsimpson.com. On Facebook at Veronica H. Simpson. Instagram at Hazel Simpson 316. On YouTube, Pastor Veronica Simpson. Speaker, advocate, author, and educator sought after empowerment, veteran, revisionist thinker, and a transformative leader that possesses a mantle to meet the needs of everyone. Dr. VS would love to host your next event, workshop, or conference. Contact her at veronicasimpson59@yahoo.com. That's veronicasimpson59@yahoo.com for more details.